Hello everyone, Alzion the Great here, and welcome to a new year and a new game. Or in this case, a quite old game, as a matter of fact. I'm going to be starting a Madden franchise, and the basis for this series is effectively going to be what Mr. Hurricane does on his channel. I love him, huge inspiration. Kind of the reason that I've started wanting to do stuff like a lot more football recently. So I got a PS5, got Madden, and we're going to be playing a franchise. Now, in this situation, I've already prepped for such a thing, or for such a franchise, so I already know what I'm going to be doing. I've done quite a few things, as I've created a fake coach, Cody McFlair, and I've run through a few seasons, but I already knew what I was doing when I ran through a few seasons. So I'm gonna make a new league. We're not gonna use the NFL roster unless the thing. Hang on a second. Yeah, so the Saints, who I'm going to be picking for this series, are 7-9, and I think for the purpose of the rebuild that I was actually envisioning, we're not going to use the real life stuff today. But as I have just stated, we're going to be using the New Orleans Saints. Now, why are we using the New Orleans Saints? Well, it's pretty much the general position that the Saints are in. As I looked through all the rosters, I looked through all of the situations that they were in, and just the Saints situation, as far as a few years, makes the most sense for me. So we're going to be doing that as Alzion Senior. We'll be doing this, and yes, this is live commentary, as it would be. Let's see. There's not an old face or an old person. Is there an old person? I need the old person. No, actually, that kind of makes some sense. We'll do this face. Alright, but yeah, we're just going to be using New Orleans-based playbook to start off. But yeah, we're going to be taking control of the Saints. There's a couple settings I need to adjust. All-Pro simulation, that's what's going to be going on. Only CPU firing. I'm not going to change any of these controls. I do need to adjust the slider, though. 53 on the minimum roster size. Going to be taking what Mr. Hurricane does. There's only 25 X Factors, crap ton of stars and superstars in the league. I think he does 12 minutes. And everything's manual. I do want the manual of that. Do that, and off. There we go. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing with this series as we start off with the Saints. And this should be a fun adventure as we'll start here in the preseason. But I'm pretty much just going to sim through the preseason without making any adjustments as it would be to the roster, because I see certain things and certain things that I like and certain things that I don't like. So, why the Saints? Well, our oldest player is Marshawn Lattimore, 26-year-old superstar corner. He's definitely one of the best in the league. Definitely, a player that teams would want to have in the middle, of his he can still progress a little bit more, as he's still going to be the best player on the Saints for a while. Also, Ryan Ramczyk is a really good tackle. Demario Davis, good middle linebacker. Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger at safety. Also, you still have Michael Thomas. There's Cam Jordan. Alvin Kamara from Tennessee, which is fun. And Marcus May. And also, they just drafted their superstar of the future, Chris Olave from Ohio State. So this team has a pretty good roster, at least on the base, from at the top. We go to quarterback, though. It's Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, or Taysom Hill. None of them are really high quality options. Andy Dalton is, well, Andy Dalton. And although his Horned Frogs are in the college football playoff this year, he's long removed and has not had the greatest of time since leaving Cincinnati, as he's quarterback here. There's also Jameis Winston. I expect Jameis to be the starting quarterback, although not entirely sure for how long, though. We're definitely looking for a quarterback. And Taysom Hill, I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to do with him, because he's Taysom Hill. He's got lots of stuff he can do besides quarterback, so we'll figure that out. As far as running back goes, well, we have Mark Ingram, who's 32 and hurt, David Johnson, which is fun, Eno Benjamin and Dwayne Washington, then there's Alvin Kamara, and Kamara's a really good back. The Saints have used him really well, but it hasn't really resulted in a bunch of success since Breeze left. So Kamara, late 20s running back, 86 overall superstar. We'll see what we can do with him. I'll look at contracts here in a moment. As just go to wide receiver. There's Michael Thomas, who's really good if we can stay healthy. Chris Olave, obviously he's a rookie and the best rookie that the Saints have. And then there's like a bunch of question marks. Jarvis Landry, proven receiver, but he's hurt. Traquan Smith, Deontay Hardy, Marquez Callaway, hell yeah, and Rashid Shaheed, say that 10 times fast, Kirk Marriott. There isn't really a proven receiver besides injury-prone Michael Thomas and injured Jarvis Landry. I'm not sure if Landry's injury-prone. But yeah, we're going to have to figure out this wide receiver situation. At least we have one guaranteed for the future, Chris Olave. Tight end, there is not a star. Now, Juwan Johnson became a star in Mr. Hurricane's Giants franchise, but I'm not entirely anticipating that here. But we shall see, if he can do that. But there is no real future at tight end. I think Juwan Johnson can stay for a long time, but we'll see if Troutman or Wood or somebody we can draft, can become that superstar number one tight end. The offensive line is young and bad, or at least young and not great. Trevor Penning should start at left tackle. He could start for a few years. There's Andres Pete, who's 28, Eric McCoy, 25. Cesar Ruiz is hurt. There's Calvin Throckmorton, who will be starting in his role. But yeah, if we can get through some of these injuries, it might be a passable offensive line, but as of right now, we still need help both getting younger and getting better. And then the defense is the situation that concerns me the most. Cameron Jordan, great player, X factor, but he's 33. So he can retire very well after the first season. There's Marcus Davenport, Carl Granderson, and Peyton Turner, who we can build around at right end, but I don't entirely know much about them. I know about Marcus Davenport in his 5th year at a UTSA, but even then he hasn't given us the sack production that, or at least recently, that you would look for in an end. At defensive tackle, David Onyemata is there, but he's 29. No one else is below 24 at the position, so there's no really young solution. At left side linebacker, we don't have a good one. In middle linebacker, there's Demario Davis, but he's 33, so he could retire after the season, and there's no replacement beyond him. Right outside linebacker, Pete Werner is probably the best one we have that's actually young, as we can potentially build around him, but he's only normal dev still, and he's also 24. At corner, I've already said Lattimore, but beyond him, aging Chris Harris, Bradley Roby, and Alante Taylor, Paulson Adebo, and Isaac Yadam. They're all three young. We don't know anything, if they're going to be super really good players, as the veterans here will either retire or potentially move on, but I'm not sure. Might have just signed Lattimore. And Tyrann Mathieu, same thing. He can still retire. At free safety, Marcus May could also retire, although that's kind of unlikely between those two players. And then to cap it all off, we don't have a first-round draft pick. So that's why the Saints are interesting to me. There's a lot of holes that I can see for the future that I cannot fill right now. And it's definitely going to be an interesting, an interesting ride to see how we can build this team back to Super Bowl success. As that will be our goal in this series. Now I'm going to go ahead and sim the preseason, get to regular season and just preview the first matchup, and then we will end this episode. Alrighty, so we went 3-1 in the preseason, and for anyone who cares about the preseason, this is what it went. Lost by 5 to the Texans, 11 to the Packers, and beat the Chargers by 3. But I don't really care about that, especially in the first season when I have no one I'm really super duper interested in to see, as we got a lot of stuff to do, and the Packers have already signed somebody for my practice squad. I need to show you the practice squad before I look at the matchup. We'll do all the other stuff in the next, we'll do all the situations and stuff on the screen there in the next episode. But anyway, we sit here. Olave is going to be the number 1. Rookie Penning. Apparently he was a rookie. Or a first round pick. I did not notice that. I knew Chris Olave was a first round pick, but yeah, I don't really watch the NFL. I don't watch the Saints either, if I would watch the NFL. But don't worry, I know a lot about football. It's unlike a lot of other stuff I do. I actually know what I'm doing here, I assume. But yeah, Penning is going to start at left tackle. There's no doubt at that. We're going to go with Jameis Winston as the starting quarterback, Taysom Hill as the backup. Dalton will be there in case one of them or both of them tears their ACLs. Who knows? It could possibly happen. But yeah, there are no real changes, shocking changes anyway, to anything that I had planned to do. Besides, we need to sign a new practice squad player. And this is what the practice squad looked like when I did that. So we'll go sign an outside linebacker, Clay Johnston. I don't think I'll sign him. I was kind of looking for young guys who may have a chance, but it kind of looks like Clay Johnston's kind of the best out there, and I'm not entirely interested in this one since all these guys are real, and who knows, they might make the roster. We'll see. But yeah, so that's our practice squad. And next up we play the Falcons, which is quite funny because I know this team a little bit because I was just playing with them back when I was doing my off-screen franchise. But yeah, the Falcons are headed by Chris Lindstrom. They also have AJ Terrell, Grady Jarrett. Kyle Pitts is hurt, which is unfortunate. I was trying to get through. I'm going to go adjust the injury slider right now after I do this. I was trying to get through the preseason without any injuries, just kind of start. I know I could have started the start of the regular season, but who wants to miss out on the experience? But yeah, they will not be with Kyle Pitts for this first game, which sucks for them. I have Cordell Patterson at running back, Casey Hayward Jr. Quarterback should be Ritter. Well, it's going to be Ritter, as Mariota's also hurt, also with a partial PCL tear. So we'll see the rookie from Cincinnati, Desmond Ritter, make his first NFL start in his rookie season, which is going to be fun. Got to watch out for Tyler Algier at running back. He's obviously the power back from BYU. They have Drake London, who I've managed to turn into an X Factor in my Falcons franchise. That is offline, obviously. But yeah, this team is missing, Kyle Pitts. Their offensive line is kind of like ours. It's kind of spotty. The defense, I'm scared of Grady Jarrett. Other than that, though, I'm not entirely, shocked by anything. But we're also not that good of a team, so not entirely sure if we're going to be able to take care of this team. Put them away as it would be. Who's on their practice squad? I'm interested. Nobody I know, although I do know Dorian Etheridge. So yeah, that's who we play in the next episode. And that will be it for now, as we will do the season goal, opening day keys, all this stuff in the next episode. But my name is Alzion the Great. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.